Tonight on Coyote Sports, the USD women's basketball team notches a pair of wins while the men's team splits its 2 games over the weekend. And with Valentine's Day coming up this weekend, Sean gives you his take on love in this week's Bauer Beat. I'm Brandon Noel.
And I'm Sean Bauer. The USD track and field team hosted its first meet this past Saturday, and Coyote News' Levi Gooch is live with swimmer Colin Crissell previewing the upcoming Summit League Championships. First, the headlines. Taylor.
Little League Baseball has stripped the U.S. Championship away from the Chicago-based Jackie Robinson West team. The team must vacate its wins due to using players from outside its district. On top of vacating the wins from the team, the Little League organization has suspended head coach Daryl Butler and district administrator Mike Kelly for their roles. This is the 3rd time in the league's 75-year history that a team has been forced to vacate wins, and the first since 2001. Hall of Fame coach Jerry Tarkanian has died at the age of 84. Tarkanian coached the UNLV Runnin' Rebels when they won the NCAA title in 1990. Tarkanian was the second fastest D1 head coach to reach 700 wins and finished his career with 729 over a 31 years. San Antonio Spurs head coach Greg Popovich has become the 9th NBA coach to reach 1,000 career wins. Popovich is one of 2 coaches to have won 1,000 games coaching for one team. During his 19-year tenure with the Spurs, Popovich has led San Antonio to 5 NBA titles and the highest winning percentage of any NBA team in that span. And those are your headlines.
Thanks, Taylor. The USD women's basketball team picked up 2 conference victories over the weekend. On Friday, the Coyotes defeated Fort Wayne 91-80 at the Dakota Dome. The victory moves the Coyotes to a perfect 11-0 record at home this year. Nicole Seekamp led all scorers with 19 points and tied her career high with 10 assists for the Coyotes. Lisa Loeffler added a season high of 17 points for USD. Taya He-Miller scored 12 in the victory. Following their win on Friday, the Coyotes continued their streak in Fargo on Sunday as they beat NDSU 83-79. Nicole Seekamp led USD with 21 points and Rochelle Contreras scored 20 in the win. The 2 victories moved the Coyotes to 9-2 in the Summit League and keeps them atop the conference standings. The women play tomorrow night against Omaha at the Dakota Dome. USD women's basketball player Taya He-Miller underwent knee surgery today. The Coyotes starter will be on the bench for 2 to 3 weeks. The Coyotes are currently first place in conference standings with the Summit League tournament less than a month away.
The men's basketball team ended its 3-game losing streak on Thursday as they defeated Western Illinois 75-61. The Coyotes clung to a 35-34 lead after the first half, but scored the first 14 points in the second half to put Western Illinois away. Trey Burnett led all Coyotes with 19 points, and Brandon Boss added 18 in the victory. The win gives USD its first season sweep of the Leathernecks in 4 tries. On Saturday, the Coyotes were unable to keep the momentum from Thursday's victory as they fell to North Dakota State 71-47 in Fargo. The Coyotes are now 5-6 in conference play and are in 5th place in the Summit League standings. The USD men go on the road tomorrow night against Omaha. The USD track and field team hosted the Dakota Realty alumni meet on Saturday at the Dakota Dome. The Coyotes broke 2 Dakota Dome records and won 20 events at the meet. Kyle McKelvey broke the 22-year-old record in the shot put, and Katie Wetstein broke the 16-year-old record in the mile run. The competition wasn't the only highlight for USD, as 5 track and field alumni were inducted into the Hall of Honor at the meet. Former Coyotes Breanne Edwards, Dwight Freiberg, Paul Hendry, and Michelle and Scott Munson were all honored at the Dome. The track and field teams will split up this upcoming weekend to compete in both the South Dakota State Classic in Brookings and the Iowa State Classic in Ames.
The Summit League Swimming and Diving Championships begin next Wednesday, and Coyote News' Levi Goots is live with swimmer Colin Crissell as he and the rest of the USD team prepare for the meet. Levi.
Thanks, Brandon. The USD swimming and diving team had a successful meet last week in Minneapolis, and we're going to talk with Colin about the next step. Thanks for joining us.
No problem.
So how would you compare this season to previous one that you've been in?
This season it's kind of been a little rougher in the sense that it was kind of the first season we had a full team. We had all 4 grades. So we thought we were going to have like a solid core of guys. But we've just been battling injuries and kind of losing a couple of men here and there. So, I mean, it was not necessarily disappointing, but it was we've just been struggling to keep people healthy. I mean, but for what we've had, I think we've had a great season comparatively.
And then as a team, how are you guys comparing for the Summit League next week?
Well, right now we're in what we call taper. We're kind of cutting down on our training. The intensity kind of still stays up, but we're not doing as much yardage. This kind of lets our bodies recover a little bit more. We're doing a lot of visualization, because positive thinking, and we're just kind of focusing on a little bit of all the small things that we can do to help race faster, I guess.
Good, thank you.
Yep.
That was Colin Chrysler talking with us about the Summit League Championship coming up next week in Indianapolis. Live from the Muck, I'm Levi Goots.
Thanks, Levi. With Valentine's Day coming up this weekend, Sean gives you his take on love in this week's Bauer Beat.
Valentine's Day is right around the corner, so it's time to reflect on all the love in the air. No, I'm not talking about the connection between 2 people. I'm talking about Kevin Love. Love was traded this past summer from my hometown Timberwolves to the Cavaliers to join LeBron James and Kyrie Irving. The T-Wolves got first overall pick Andrew Wiggins in return. While I'll admit I'm not the biggest NBA fan, I did enjoy seeing the T-Wolves finally make a great roster move. When the T-Wolves had Kevin Garnett back in the day, they never surrounded him with the talent to win championships. The same thing happened with Love in Minnesota, which is why both wanted to be traded. Now, while I've always loved Garnett because he led a mediocre team to the playoffs almost every year in Minnesota, I've always disliked Kevin Love because he never made the playoffs once. Seeing Garnett leave was tough to handle, and then to see that Minnesota only got Al Jefferson return was just adding salt to the wound. This time, the Wolves made the right move. They moved Love and acquired Andrew Wiggins in return. Wiggins has future superstar written all over him. He's freakishly athletic and will only get stronger and become a better shooter as he matures. So for the first time since the Wolves lost in the 2004 Western Conference Finals, I finally have a reason to watch them. And that's the Bauer Beat.